Finally, a fortress that I can hold in my hand. It's not really that funny, to be fair, but it is quite cool. I seek to conjure the entire of Middle-earth, and to do so, I have joined forces with Hexton Hills. Yet, before I can take on the entire of Middle-earth, I must attend to the smaller details. This is one I painted earlier, and it's basically a non-canonical one, just one that we made up as a bit of a practice. And yeah, it went pretty well. Sorry, I can't do the oldie worldy voice for that long. Basically, I've got to do the famous ones now. Minas Tirith, Osgiliath, and Minas Morgul. Sometimes you just got to say what you're going to do. It's quite hard, in that voice and that.
Let's get straight into this thing with some zenithal priming. So that's black over everything and then white from above. This is a particularly good technique for this because we're going to be using a lot of washes and a lot of contrasts. And there we go. Look at that. Yum, yum, yum. Delicious cake. I don't know why I said that. I just really want some cake. Now it's time for Nuln Oil. And this is a wash that we all know and love, I'm sure. It's a little bit shiny sometimes, so I've mixed in some matte varnish. And now we're going to add a little bit of earthy brown, which is good for earth, bits of wood, and just general filth. And a little bit of green so that we can have some green filth really. And any moss or, plants and stuff like that. So now we're going to do another Nuln Oil mix, and there was the matte varnish that I've used. It's a very good matte varnish. It makes it, it does what it says on the tin really, makes it matte, not shiny. And now for an ever so satisfying white dry brush over the top, and this sort of locks that all in and makes it look all nice and that. Talking about all nice and that, we're going to deal with these domey roofs now with some magic blue. It's a lovely blue, and this is where contrast paints really work perfectly in unison with the zenithal prime. See, I'm selecting these domey roofs. I can't think of any other way of saying it, really. I'm sure there is a correct architectural term, and if you have that, please put that in the comments section down below. And now I'm dry brushing with a little bit of white to brighten it up again. Yeah, nice. In between these stages, I am adding more matte varnish as I go, which is probably what I'm doing there, I can't really remember. Now, there's a lovely river running through Osgiliath, and we're going to deal with that now by first off adding some teal and blue mixed together to make a nice rivery blue. If not a bit of a fantasy blue, because I don't know if you've seen most rivers, they are a dirty, dirty brown. But I wanted an azure blue, which is a fancy word that I've started saying just now. I'm going to say it more. Okay, less fancy, brown. There's a bit of brown stuff here, some wood, that kind of stuff, planks and that, yeah, it's as simple as that really. We like to call it the brown down here on the channel, which is just a terrible phrase really. It just sounds worse and worse the more you say it, but I've doubled down on it now and it's too late, so sorry. So this stuff is pretty fun. It's dirty down moss and it's pretty cool. You mix it up, heat it up, mix it again, shake it some more and then add it and then dry it. And it looks kind of like moss. So now let's get funky with some Mod Podge and some ash I found in the garden. And we're going to create some sort of nasty, dirty rubble because Osgiliath is a fallen city. And then we're going to have some more fun with some waterscape paste after we fill it with resin though. And this took a while because I had to build it up. So while that all dries, and it took a very long time to dry, I'm getting on with Minas Tirith using some holy white contrast because I want to try and keep this thing looking white, and this is the hard thing about Minas Tirith, making it have contrast but also read as white. Never quite successfully had this work, so we're going to see if we can do that today. So a bit of a dry brushing stage. And then check it out, yeah, it looks white, that's fine. Moving on to the blue domes again, the domey roofs. And then it's time for green. And I don't want to add too much green, but these trees look like they need to be green, don't they? Okay, so that's dried very thinly, and it also doesn't look blue enough, so I've used a bit of contrast and a bit of normal acrylic to make the river look deep. I'm basically painting over resin. This is not the way to do it, by the way. I was just rushing around. But yeah, there we go, and we'll fill it with some more resin and see how that looks in a bit. Okay, this is now in a bit later, / days later, and we're just going to satisfyingly peel away this sellotape. It's not that satisfying, really. Yeah, this looks better. Not perfect, but better, and we'll take that. I'm just going to clip off little bits of the resin that we don't want there, and then I didn't quite like the colour, so we just use a little bit of contrast paint to make it look greeny blue. Yeah, this is getting there. Now we're going to have some real fun with that water paste that I promised earlier. And this is really cool. I just used a brush, not a good brush, don't use a good brush, to create some texture over the top, and it's sort of, a transparent blue colour, and you can create these kind of waves and shapes like that. And then a little bit more shaping with a sharper brush to make it look like there are waves and ripples and things. And when it's dry, it looks awesome. I love it. Now, this stuff was a bit scary. Essentially, it goes on and looks like white paint, and you think, what the hell have I done? But essentially, this is the foam from the waves and things like that. When it dries, it does become more transparent, and it sort of foams up a little bit. And it's very good, actually. I think so, anyway. Yeah. Now, back to Minas Tirith. And it's looking okay. It's not quite as white as I'd like, but yeah, okay, let's add more white then, I suppose. Now I'm just doing like a little bit of a highlight stage on all of the raised areas like turrets and stuff. I'll be very careful here and very sort of scratchy with it because it's an old fortress city. And then I'm going to use this metallic paint pen to do all the little details. And there's lots of like dungeon doors and edges of doors and things. And then all of the windows needed blacking out, like a Boy Racer's modified voxel Corsa. I also did loads of brown bits like ladders and earth and that. Okay, it's time for some more dirty down moss. Same again, make it warm, make it watery, mix it up, shake it. I did put on a little bit too much here, but it's okay because you can just wipe it back off with some water and a sponge, and it actually makes it look more vibrant, and it seeps into all of the crevices and things like that, so it's perfect. I love it. But it was in desperate need of some sprinkle ash, and I used some Mod Podge here, but you can use PVA. Mod Podge was just nearby, and I just created some pools of it around where I think dust would fall, and then I'll take the little bit of sprinkle ash and sprinkle it down. Apparently you can use sawdust and colour that with paint, and it's probably a lot more safe to use than ash. But I haven't tried that yet. I'll try that next time, yeah? I promise you. Actually, maybe not promise. I might. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, okay, here we go. So a little bit of rubble and dust. Now it's time for Minas Morgul, the Tower of Dark Sorcery. And this is actually my favourite of all of the fallen cities of Middle-earth. After an initial dark wash stage, we're going to do a little bit of green and brown disgustingness, and it can have a little bit more of this than usual because it is very much a haunted, disgusting ruin. So yeah, it's getting there. Yeah, not too bad. Now I'm going to use a very dark wash indeed because I think it looks a little bit too bright, and this stuff is, yeah, it's like the tar of dark washes. It is nasty. And then a little bit of a white dry brush over the top, not too heavy on this because I still want it to look dark and dingy and nasty. Now it's time for some dark metallic paint on all the edges, because if you actually look in the films, there's these sort of dark black metallic edges on all of the pointy, outy bits. I really need to learn words. That would help, wouldn't it? And then anything that I think that looks like it could benefit from being dark metal that's been added by the Witch King and his nasty orc minions. I'm saying nasty a lot in this video. I'm not sure why. Just blame modern pop music, basically. Cool. Yeah, that looks cool. Much closer. Okay, let's get really crazy here. What if we took this tiny little noodle light? Look at that. Yeah, like the uplighting in Minas Morgul, that ghastly greeny light. Because I want that. I need that. Problem is, there's a few things in the way. What to do? What would Morgoth do?
If I cannot create, then I will destroy.
Yeah, clip that. Oh.
Oh, okay.
That's fine, that's fine. Clip that, that's fine. It's all fine. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, that's fine. That's just fine.
It's all absolutely fine. You know, it's Minas Morgul. It's basically a destroyed city. It's fine, isn't it? Probably. Anyway, we can get this noodle light in now, which did take a little bit of aggressive negotiations. And now we're going to take some wire wrapping wire and this amazing wire wrapping tool. This took us to space in the 60s. Not literally, like you didn't have people getting in it and it didn't take off or anything. But any rewiring they needed to do on a spaceship, they used this. So I think it's good enough for this time. Yeah, look, there you go. Look, that's fine. Yeah. Okay, it doesn't look very nice right now, but you've got to trust the process. Here we go. This is about trusting. Yeah, see that? Trust it. Trust that process. There it is. Yeah. Bang, back in it goes, basically fine. Right, okay, now I need to sort of hide these wires and I'll do a little bit of a better job of this later on. And there we go, look at that, when you put it down the light goes on. That's, yeah, well worth it.
See? Fine. I knew that was going to turn out just fine. Welcome to the Vortex. How high can I push up my ISO settings edition? This is a pocket dimension between pocket dimensions, and this is where you and me, I and you and I, catch up on what's coming up on the channel. You've probably caught on by now that I'm making the entire of Middle-earth as a 3D printed map. But what for, I hear you ask? Are you asking it? Probably. I mean, I am. It's for a massive battle campaign encompassing the entire of Middle-earth, all in 10mm scale, except the map is in crazy small scale. Don't know what scale it is. Can someone tell me what scale it is? And this is all going to be done in a Total War style. So we're talking city building, raising armies, resources, and everything you can imagine, pretty much. Everything that I can do. Not everything you can imagine, because that's crazy. People imagine mad things all the time, don't they? There's a couple of demo battles already out on the channel that you can check out that explore some of these ideas, but we're going to go much further. This has been done in collaboration with Hexton Hills, and they sent me all of the STL files for these amazing hex tiles. There's everything from rivers, oceans, cities, landscape, mountains. I'll leave a link in my description if you'd like to get some of this for yourself and try an epic campaign, either in Middle-earth, D&D. They've even got 40k style stuff. It's amazing. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, find out what's coming up with this massive campaign, and talk on our exclusive Vortexian Discord, then you can check out my Patreon. And on that subject, I'd like to thank these legends. These are the Vortexians. Without you guys, I couldn't do any of this. So thank you so much for supporting me through the doom and gloom of February. You know, we can all feel it, especially if you live in the West Midlands, because it's basically just rain. Yeah, a lot of work to do. Quite tired though. Oh nice, moon. Alright, let's get on with it.
Yeah, that's right, back to it. Okay, Minas Tirith, the White City, doesn't look very white. So we're going to use this sponge and we're just going to gently sponge back in some white, because it's just a little bit too grey at the minute for my liking. And if we can get it like 10% more white, be happy. And then I needed to black out a lot of these windows again, I'm going to be honest. Yeah, there we go. We're much closer with that. I needed to black out all of the windows on Osgiliath as well. Yeah, there we go. Now, I needed to prime some of the shattered bits of resin that were still showing on the inside. Again, this brought back the pain of the breaking of Minas Tirith, you know, because I was there. And that was much more painful than smashing a bit of resin, I'll tell you that. Yeah, there we go. Still some wires showing, but we'll deal with that now a bit with some paint, kind of. And then a bit of a wash over the top. Yeah, I can still see that wire, definitely. But we're going to cover that with some scenics later, I promise you. Okay, now there is a little bit of a hidden lake / river. It's supposed to be a river, isn't it? Is it the Morgul? Something like that? So yeah, no one's ever going to see that or notice that, but I'm going to do it. Okay, so we're going to mix up some more watery PVA here so that we can add some greenery. But not really greenery, because it's sort of the dead grass look that you have on the Pelennor, and a little bit more dark green on Osgiliath because it's near to the Anduin, the river, so it would be. Now, a little bit of rust works exactly the same as the moss. You put it on pretty thick, and then you sponge it down, dry it off, and it looks perfect. Now, a little bit of waterscaping fun down in the hidden lake river down there. Yeah, there you go. Just adds a little bit of something. Now, I didn't like these tabs. I want these tabs gone, and that will make sense when I put this into the massive map much later. Much later. Not today. We're not doing that today. And then I just painted all of the base rims so they look slightly more tidy, because I want these to be their own little dioramas that I can put in my display case, basically, so I can look at and hold, to have and to hold, you know. There we go. Bit tidier. Now, a little bit of, well, actually quite a lot of ash on Minas Morgul, because it's got to look, it's. I'm going to say it again, it's got to look nasty, right? There we go. And there we have it. They're all done. I absolutely love these. And in resin, the detail is crazy. I've printed a lot of these in FDM, obviously, for the big map, but I needed the major settlements to look as good as they could look. And these will be in the close-ups in this massive upcoming campaign. I will be making a few more of these, like Helm's Deep and Edoras and all of the other ones, but that's when I expand out the map to the north, because at the minute I'm focusing on Gondor, a very large map of Gondor, and a little bit of Mordor for the initial campaign. So I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah, got a lot of work to do, to be fair.
Yeah, cool. I think we learned a lot there, didn't we, to be fair? You and I, all of us together, you know, probably. So that's good. And these are done. So that's good. That's the thing, though, really. You're not actually done, are you? Because, oh, yeah, well, maybe you should show them.